What is up, guys? It is AJ from MMA Experts, and we are talking about the UFC on ESPN 14 card between Whittaker and Till. It was a good one. Darren Till loses here to Robert Whittaker by a decision. Honestly, the whole card, though, was pretty solid. I want to start from the bottom, work my way up. I will put something in the description or the comments telling you where the main card starts, so if you want to skip past the undercard, you definitely can. But I do want to talk about it and give the respect to these undercard fighters because there were some good fights. First fight of the night, Nathaniel Wood defeats John Castaneda by a unanimous decision. I predicted it like this. It happened pretty much how I saw it. Nathaniel Wood moves forward here in the bantamweight division. Castaneda, though, even though he lost, he looked tough, and I believe they will keep him around. Now, moving forward again, Razman Emeev defeats Nicolas Stolze, unanimous decision. Emeev was just a bit better than him. Stolze looks good, but stylistically, it wasn't the best matchup for him. Emeev wins here 30-27 on all three cards, or excuse me, 30-27 on two. 29-28 on one. He was caught with a really nice knee at one point, but nothing really too crazy between those two in terms of who was really hurt. Nobody went out. Emeev was comfortable, and then he wins the fight by a decision. Moving up, Pannie Kianzad and Bethe Correia put on a very impressive back and forth fight in the women's bantamweight division. Pannie is a girl to watch out for. I believe that she could possibly be a world title challenger in the next year or so, especially with how wide open the division is. Amanda Nunes has pretty much cleared it out. So if she's able to get a win or two more, she may find herself fighting for that strap. Now, Bethe Correia, 37 years old, aging fighter in this women's division. I feel like her time is not over yet, but it is pushing towards the end. We'll see how long she sticks around for. She has taken a couple losses, but she did beat Sijara Eubanks one fight before this, so you can't really write her off just yet. Tanner Boser, Rafael Pessoa. Boser gets it done. I predicted a Boser win in the second round. He did pull it off by TKO. Pessoa goes down. His eye got hit. He was hurt. Boser moves forward here. He's a fun fighter to watch in the heavyweight division. I don't know if he'll ever be like a world champion, but he's a really fun striker, and he's really skilled. He's technical on the feet. He has really good movement. I love watching him. Where does he go from here? There's a lot of fun fights. Maybe Andrei Arlovski. Maybe they do that. Maybe Maurice Green, which he's been asking for. We'll see what the UFC wants to do. I definitely think stylistically, though, he does beat Maurice Green. Arlovski's a bit tougher of a matchup. Okay, featherweight division. Movsar Evloev, former bantamweight. Mike Grundy wins the fight by a unanimous decision. Movsar Evloev does, not Mike Grundy. He looked good, man. He's a really bright prospect in the 145-pound division. I think he's going to get another big fight. He's undefeated. Mike Grundy, tough loss. I think they keep him around. Granted, he's not at that elite level, but he's a solid fighter. He's in his mid-30s, though, so we don't know how much longer he has left. But I do think he will be back, and Evloev will be moving forward towards a fight in the top 15. Wow, Tom Aspinall looked like a beast, but Jake Collier looked terrible. He looked like he put on all fat. It looks like he really hasn't been exercising that much. He didn't look good. I expected a better Jake Collier. We've seen Jake Collier beat Marcel Fortuna 2 or 3 years ago. He put on maybe 40 pounds of fat since then. I don't know what he's doing as far as training. He needs to get a dietitian. He needs to get serious, or he needs to retire, because he was brutally knocked out in 45 seconds, and honestly, I didn't see it happening any other way. As soon as I saw him walk out and get in the ring, he looked awful. I did not expect him to be that overweight. When you see, the UFC wasn't even showing that of him, and even in the pictures, he looked like the Jake Collier that I remember. I thought maybe he put on muscle. He was very obese. He got destroyed. Tom Aspinall, fun heavyweight prospect to watch. I like the idea of him and Chase Sherman next. I think that'd be a fun fight. Two good strikers, and I think he could knock Sherman out, the former bare knuckle world champion. Okay, Jesse Ronson, quick submission of Nicholas Dalby. I was surprised by this one. Ronson is the real deal. He's a fun guy to watch. He made a call out, which I like. He said Violent Bob Ross. He said another name, but honestly, off the top of my head, I don't remember it. But I think you could do the Violent Bob Ross fight. Ronson, Violent Bob Ross. Why not do that fight? Ronson, I believe this was his debut. He may have had more fights in the octagon. Now I'm going to have to check it because I'm curious. But at the end of the day, Ronson blasted through Dalby, who had a draw with Darren Till at one point. Okay, so he did have a 3-fight losing streak in the octagon. I don't know what I'm saying. It was years ago, though, 2014. 6 years later, he comes back, gets a super impressive win. I think Ronson's pretty good. He's a fun guy to watch at 155 or 170 pounds. Moving up, though, Francisco Trinaldo defeats Jay Herbert by a knockout. I predicted a Trinaldo win, but Herbert was very tough. Trinaldo moves forward here at 41, I believe. He said he's moving up to the welterweight division, which I think is a good move. No more weight cutting for him. He's older, he's jacked, and I feel like he's a fun guy to watch in that division. Maybe he fights Mike Perry. I think that's a tough fight for Mike Perry. I definitely would like to see it. Jay Herbert, he'll be around for a while. You'll see him start getting better. Maybe be a top 15 guy at one point. He's just got to get a bit more experience. This was way too much of a hard matchup for him early on in his career. I mean, he's got, 13 fights versus a guy who's got 15 wins in the octagon now. Not the right move, but he took the fight, and he wanted to get the experience, and he did get it. And a loss doesn't break you in MMA. This is not boxing, or if you lose one fight, it's over. In MMA, you lose and you come back better. Most fighters have losses, and that's what I love about mixed martial arts, is it's a learning experience. Herbert will come back better from this. Let's move to the main card. Khamzat Chimaev destroys Rhys McKee. He's been hit twice in his past 2 fights, and he has landed over 100 strikes. Takes his opponents down, beats the hell out of them. The fights were 10 days apart, let me tell you that too. I think they'll give him another quick turnaround. Khamzat Chimaev is a guy to watch out for. He called out Damian Maia. I don't think he gets that fight. I don't think Maia would take it. I feel like that's not even a good matchup for Maia. I mean, Maia might be able to tap him, but I lean towards no. I'll tell you honestly, I don't see it. I think Maia would not be able to stop the top control of Chimaev. And we're also forgetting Chimaev is a good striker. He just never uses it. So if he wants to just strike with Maia, I believe he could knock him out on the feet, or at least dominate him on the feet. Khamzat Chimaev will beat Damian Maia. That fight's not going to happen, though. Do I have an exact opponent off the top of my head? No. We'll see what the UFC wants to do with him, and I can't wait to see his next fight. I do believe he is a future world champion. He has that material. He has that feel. The way he talks, you can look in his eyes and see. I can't explain to you. It's just something special about this kid. He's elite level. Rhys McKee, tough kid, tough loss. He'll be back. I think he'll probably drop down to 155, though. 170, he was a bit undersized. Next fight, Alex Oliveira defeats Peter Sabata. I thought Sabata would put up a better fight and possibly win the fight. Oliveira, though, showed his gamesmanship, veteran of the game. Pretty dominant decision here. Oliveira, 10 kids. He made that money. Happy for the guy. He's a good dude. He'll definitely be back with some more fights soon. Exact opponent, don't have one, but I know he will definitely have a fight sometime in the end, maybe of 2020 or early 2021, if he's not ready to turn around sometime sooner. Okay, Paul Craig defeats Garazarmad Antagulov. Paul Craig looked really good. I expected Paul Craig to win. He got it done. I predicted the second round. He got it done in the first. Super impressive by Paul Craig. I think he's a legit guy. I would like to see the Shogun rematch. Why not? I think that he could beat Shogun, who would be 100% honest with you. I think Paul Craig's a pretty fun guy to watch at light heavyweight. He's got really good jiu-jitsu. He's a tall guy, decent striker. He's honestly definitely gotten better. Earlier on in his UFC career, I don't think it was really all that great, but he's improved drastically now over these past couple years. Antagulov, I believe they'll keep him around. I believe they'll give him one more fight. An exact name, don't know for sure. Maybe Michalidas, who lost recently, but if not, who knows? They may let him go after 3 straight losses. Carla Esparza wins against Marina Rodriguez, giving her her first defeat. Marina Rodriguez had 2 draws, and people had said, that was a hole in her game, which was the grappling. Esparza showed it and proved it. Esparza probably will end up fighting for a world title because she is available to fight. Rose Namajunas, I don't think is available. They're not going to give Andrade the fight off a loss, most likely. And you got Tatiana Suarez, who's having injuries. So there's a lot of injured people. So, hey, if they don't do the Joanna Jędrzejczyk rematch with Weili Zhang, which they definitely could, and I believe that sells way more than this fight, they could give Carla Esparza the fight, and I would definitely watch it, and I don't think Esparza beats Weili Zhang, but who knows? Esparza's a former world champion. I'd love to see her get another shot, especially on a 4-fight win streak. And for Marina, though, she'll be around for a while. I'd like to see her fight Alexa Grasso. I know Grasso's booked against somebody right now, but if Grasso wins or loses, I would still be interested in seeing that fight because it's a battle of 2 strikers. Okay, not the co-main event. Right before the co-main event, we have a huge fight. Fabricio Verdum, the Alexander Gustafsson super fight, in my opinion. Verdum taps him in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Looks like prime form on the ground. Verdum's jiu-jitsu is so fun to watch. When he gets you down and you were in a very bad place, Gustafsson had nothing for him. I didn't expect him to have anything for him. If it did get to the ground, then was stuck there, and he did get tapped. I mentioned that in my prediction video, though I did expect Gustafsson to win a decision because I was expecting the Verdum that fought Oleinik. This was not him. This was very similar to the Verdum of old from a couple years back when he was a top contender. Verdum now will most likely be leaving the UFC. He said he'd like to fight Fedor again. Definitely can see that happening in Bellator. I think there's a huge main event in Bellator. Granted, I think that he should definitely beat Fedor at this point of his career. Fedor is looking old. He's chinny. I think he beats Fedor again. Don't know if Fedor will want that, though. Maybe he doesn't want to take 2 L's to Fabricio Verdum. We'll see what happens. Gustafsson, drop back down to light heavyweight, please. Do yourself a favor. You're a top guy at light heavyweight. This loss is not going to drop your stock. You lost to Fabricio Verdum. Probably anybody can be tapped by Verdum. I mean, who knows if he fought against anybody in the light heavyweight top 10. I feel like he could tap probably most of those guys out. Maybe John Jones fights off his attack, but other than him, I feel like Verdum is a submission specialist. If he gets on the ground with you, he's probably going to tap you out. Gustafsson should drop back down to light heavyweight, fight Volkan Oezdemir. It's a sweet main event. I want to see it. Let's do that fight. Volkan Oezdemir, Gustafsson, main event it. Can't wait. Move up. Shogun Rua, Rogerio Nogueira, the trilogy. Gets it done by a split decision. Their fights are always very close. Nogueira retires. Good move on his part to retire. I feel like Shogun should have retired with him, but I don't think he's gonna. Maybe you do the Paul Craig rematch. I'd like to see it for Paul's sake, but I don't think that's really good for Shogun. If not, I don't have an exact name for Shogun. Who knows? Maybe he moves up to heavyweight. Don't think that'd be a good idea, though. I don't think he would do well at heavyweight, but hey, you really don't know with these guys what they want to do. Shogun, older guy. I believe he does stick around, though, and collect a couple more paychecks until it's time to call it. I don't know if it's there yet. He's not super chinny. He's eating some shots, but he definitely can be knocked out. We'll see what the UFC wants to do next for him. Let's move up, though, to the main event of the evening. Robert Whittaker defeats Darren Till, as I mentioned earlier. He looked good doing it. 48-47 on all scores. Agreeable scorecard. Darren Till, really tough. Put Whittaker down. Hurt him with some shots. He landed that beautiful elbow. He did some significant damage for sure. Robert Whittaker dropped Darren Till. Did some significant damage as well. Where do Till and Whittaker go from here? For Whittaker, I think he's still in the looming for a title shot. I think Jared Cannonier, if he's available, is the fight. If Cannonier is not waiting or not promised a title shot, if he waits, versus the winner of Costa and Adesanya, I could see Whittaker Cannonier or Whittaker Hermansson next. Darren Till's in a trickier spot. Let's say hypothetically you give Whittaker the Hermansson fight, then you have Darren Till maybe fighting somebody in the back half of the top 10. An exact name I don't really have. Maybe Anderson Silva, who's out of the top 15 just for a fun fight. Really don't know. But I do know if Robert Whittaker fights Cannonier, I like Hermansson, Darren Till. I think that would be a fun fight to watch. I definitely think Hermansson's submission skills, though, would cause a lot of problems for Darren Till and Robert Whittaker. But Cannonier's power also I see as a problem for Robert Whittaker, to be 100% honest with you. But all right, guys, that was the card. It was a lot of fun. It was the final Fight Island card. We may be back there, though. Dana White did mention if the U.S. shuts down Vegas again and the events are closed, they will go back to Fight Island. I don't think it's going to happen, though. I think the U.S. will remain open. I think we'll be fighting in Vegas again. Hopefully, though, we can get the 30-foot octagon back. I don't mind the 25. It's fun, but I do think there is a difference. It's a lot smaller for elite world title fights. I think you got to give them the 30-foot octagon. The 30-foot octagon. But we'll see. We'll see what the UFC wants to do. If they're at the Apex, they're not going to fit it in there. So if they have a different arena, that would be the option. Don't know if they're going to do that. But overall, Fight Island was a success. A lot of fun. Great fights. We saw a great card here with some awesome legends. Hamza Chimaev, we learned about at Fight Island. He is super legit. I believe he's a future world champion. Keep an eye on Hamza Chimaev. But all right, guys, that is pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, turn on those post notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next video.